Edwin Beale Doran using the census from 1802 to 1943, which distinguished between black, white, and colored segments of the Cayman Islands population. The trend observed by the cultural preferences of the three races identified that due to the strong feelings of white women only procreating with white men and colored women only procreating with colored or white men, that the natural population of blacks significantly decreased, the whites remained the same, and the colored population increased. In 1802, blacks outnumbered whites by 3 to 2. The colored population represented only 8% of the population, but by 1870, the three races were virtually equal. However, by 1911, the black population was reduced to a mere 20%, and by 1943, the colored population had reached 55%, with the Cayman Islands having proportionally fewer blacks than any other territory in the region.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311. Top flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope that you had an opportunity to listen to Mr. Art this morning. If you didn't, go back and join him in Mr. OC, Mr. Steve on our YouTube. I want to say that as we have that continued discussion today with the good friends from the Department of Labor and Pensions, and they want you to join us. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome, and thanks very much for joining us. And if you're not on YouTube or Facebook as yet, we invite you to go and not only, watch us there and follow, like, subscribe, whatever it is that the YouTubers said, because that's what you can get us. It's always there. But if you listen to us on the radio, thank you very much. As in the studio from the Department of Labor and Pensions, that continued partnership with our respective government entities. Ms. Sasha, welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us today. We always look forward to coming and spending some time with you and to promote our department. So today we have my lovely colleagues with me, Miss Elizabeth McIntosh. She's a Senior Labor and Pensions Inspector from the Labor team. And I also have with me Senior Inspector Miss Medanis Rosales. She is actually attached to the inspections unit. So today, well, I should introduce myself as well. I'm just excited about why we're here. But I am officially Senior Labor and Pensions Inspector Sasha Rankin Ricketts. I'm the gratuity officer for the department, and I'm also attached to the labor unit as well. And what we're here for today is that we're here to promote our upcoming training, which Miss Elizabeth will give you a lot more details there, as well as our social media promotion. And Miss Medanis will give us more information there. So we want to just get as much information out as possible. And what better way to do it than come on the Talk Today show?
Thank you for that ringing endorsement, Ms. Sasha. I always enjoy when fellow public servants come into the studio, that access that we afford to the community, but recognizing how through that we build partnerships. And you and your team, the commanding presence that you have, but the confidence and the way you convey, it just makes us understand the importance of why legislation exists, why and how easy it is to follow along. But your training opportunities makes it for employer and employee alike. So, Ms. McIntosh, it's good to see you again. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Gracias por tenerme presente. Thanks for having me here. We do appreciate it to be able to have the opportunity to reach out to the public, reach out to the community, to the employers, to the employees, because at one point you're going to be either employee or employer.
And that cycle sometimes oscillates for many people. And one of the good things with your department, you offer up, well, I won't say, trilingual, the English and Spanish and also the West Bay, but it is.
and the East End.
Well, man. All right. So crucial, right? And
exactly.
It's a bit of a jest, but it's just show how important it is that for the community to appreciate your department is just there. It's for the employer sometimes unwillingly and maybe to acknowledge the legislation. Any legislation can be, well, what does this mean? How is this applied? How do we navigate it? But for that employer or being able to get training so that it benefits the organization, it benefits the community.
Yes, because our intention is to educate. Because we have a lot of cases when an employer not willingly don't do what they have to do, but they don't know what they have to do. So that is our intention here, to educate both parties. Yeah. So for that reason, we prepared training throughout the year. So we do average 4 quarterly trainings, and we try to promote it as much as we can, because our intention is not to find people to blame, is, as I said, educate all the time.
I recognize even as over the years, the implementation of say administrative fines, my perception is that you're not setting out to punish initially.
Exactly.
Now, when sanctions need to be meted out, well, as they should, a parent would say to a child, okay, I told you not to do this, and if you did it,
right.
But that's life, that's teaching, that's instilling discipline and respect for, the rule of law, the order of society. But you're not, initially, from my perception, punish. You want to be able to have people to understand so that they can be compliant.
And that's exactly correct, because if we find someone that in breach of the Labor Act, we're not necessarily going straight out to them and say, you're in breach, you punish. No. We're going to reach out to that person and let them know how does it work, what the Labor Act is saying, and how they can come up to date with that, with the Labor Act.
Okay.
So we give everybody an opportunity to do what they have to do.
All right. Well, when you come back from the break, can we talk more about your scheduled training? Or not yet? Look at that. I'm trying to follow and be on time. Thank you, sir. Well, you see, you know what? Don't ever, or be, as many would know, I don't always, not to be defiant, we're having a conversation. I thought, good time to get chat. No, let's keep continuing. And then the breaks come and like, yeah, we get to those breaks in a minute. So, but good fellow across the table who makes things work. Say, hey, we can still chat until he tells us we can't because he's got to do something else. So,
to add to what my colleague said, our mission is very important to us. So our mission says that we're here to provide through education, engagement, and the enforcement of labor and pension legislation, a one-stop shop for private sector labor and pension services and support delivered by the competent and caring staff operating in a prompt, fair, and impartial manner and with the highest level of integrity. So each one of us on a daily basis, we live to that and we actually work towards our mission on a daily basis. So like Ms. Elizabeth said, the key is to educate. So once everyone is aware, then there will be less breaches.
Yeah, I like what you shared. Engagement, enforcement, and education.
Correct.
And they can all coexist. And if we appreciate the importance of it, so come to the training, get engaged, get informed, through education, but ignorance isn't bliss. And just because you don't know something doesn't mean that you're not going to be impacted by it. These training sessions, Mrs. Elizabeth, many times as that student who say on the 18 in compulsory education, for instance, or that adult may feel, I got to go for a day, I got to go for an hour, 4 hours, 4 weeks. They may feel, why do I have to do that? And really, I'm this age now, and yet getting over that hurdle is the first step. How do we get them over that hurdle to understand that learning can still take place at any age?
Absolutely. And our team is very welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
And our training is a half-day training. Normally start from 9 in the morning and finish at 1 p.m. And when we have large companies that want a one-to-one and more personalized training for their specific company, we can accommodate that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some criteria that need to be fulfilled, like how many people, etc., etc. But yes, we can accommodate that. And our training is not like sit down and yes, right, read, right. No. We try to interact with the public. We try to interact with who are there for that training.
Mm-hmm.
If they have questions, we answer. We're there for them.
Yeah.
We're there for them, absolutely.
And maybe now I'm totally breaking really. And look at me trying to be on time. Next time, I'll just follow the flow. When we come back, maybe we can talk about Sir Alan used, to refer to the bespoke training for that particular company that may want, maybe that industry sector. I'm thinking of people who in a particular area, but also for clarity, can we also emphasize that the labor legislation applies to all employers and all employees. Some may be impacted in one area more than others. The job site in the construction may have peculiarities that the office don't, but they overlap in terms of safety at work. So different things. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
And then we can post on his hands, and that's good. All right. Join us after. When we return, we'll talk about the DLP's upcoming training sessions. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers of a planned traffic disruption on North Side Road on Sunday, 18th August, between the hours of 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. to facilitate infrastructure works in the area. The westbound lane of Northside Road will be occupied during this time, diverting all traffic to the eastbound lane. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades its water infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay Mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And our good friends from the Department of Labour and Pensions, with Miss Sasha joining us. You and your team, thank you all very, very much. Like all of our civil service, I am prayerful that the public appreciates the diligence, the dedication, the way we approach our work. And thanks very much. For what it's worth, it's not an easy task. Sometimes it feels thankless, but what you guys do, especially over there, must be at these kind of, What do you think? My daughter say meh.
It's never a dull moment, but we know what we signed up for, and all we can do is enforce the legislation that we're given.
Yeah. So, what do you say? What? Engagement, enforcement, and education. And what should we bring Ms. Salas into the discussion, Ms. Sasha, or should we just go back to Ms. McIntosh?
Miss McIntosh, please.
Yes, I think that's McIntosh.
Hey, I can't say I didn't extend the invitation. But this is where, as a teacher in a classroom where all the students engage and they, teacher, me, the hands go up. That's where we learn. That's where we have that engagement. So, Miss Elizabeth.
I soon hand over to Ms. Rosales. So, during this 2024, we have had a series of training. We actually had a private sector, big company on island that requests our services for training the employees. Actually, it was managers, regular employees, everybody was there. And it was very good. So we went to their location. As I said, we do our best to accommodate. We work together if you're going to be at our department or depends. So we did that. We had 20 people at the time at that training. And what have been up to date, we have trained approximately almost 50 people so far for this year. And we have our next upcoming training, which is September 11th. That group going to be a small group based on the location. It's going to be at our department, located at Midtown Plaza, second floor, if someone is not yet aware where we're located, right? The training has a registration fee, which is $75. $75 is a little bit of money to pay for all the knowledge that you're going to gain when you walk out that training, right? And as I said, no matter who you are, employer or employee, you're going to gain a lot of knowledge.
If I might ask, two immediate things, one, what the training looks like if you're able to somebody go through legislation, but also the person listening might say, well, I'm an employer, maybe self-employed, that sole person, why do I need this in quickly, the legislation, but the employee, well, why do I need to go? They have an HR department in a large organization. Oh, it's only 4 of us in the company. Why do I need to know? Why those two sort of distinct employee and employee should attend the same training together?
Well, as I said, we're covering the Labor Act, and we are referring right now to Revision 2021, right? And we start from when you get into an agreement, an employment agreement, the first thing you need to know what your wage is going to be, what going to be your working days, your working hours, what are your entitlements, what are your responsibilities. So the first thing we started is a statement of working condition. I think of a both party because the employer should know what his duties and responsibilities are towards his employee. And at the same time, the employee should know what he or she is entitled to. And that way you give your best and you know what you're doing. But if you don't know.
Now, this labor agreement is...
Statement of working condition.
Okay. Statement of
working conditions. Some people buying it into the employment contract.
Right. So it's not the same thing, but it can be incorporated.
Correct.
Everybody should have one of them as an employee.
Correct.
As an employer, you should provide that for every employee.
Correct.
Whether you got one person or 1,000.
Correct.
In the absence of the employer giving an employee that, what happens? Is there one provided for in the Labor Act? Is it implicit?
What we do provide is a guidance.
Okay.
What should be in that statement of working condition. And as I mentioned earlier, it should be what your entitlements are, your leaves that you're entitled to, what your remuneration going to be. If I said that remuneration quite...
how much you getting paid?
What your wage is, how much they're going to pay you.
And how often.
And how often.
Yeah.
All that little thing you need to know is your right.
Right.
And is the employer responsibility to let you know.
All right. I want to be mindful of the time and also the training, but just, if I might, just for my personal edification, there's the employment contract which sets out certain things, the statement of working conditions which sets out, and as if I heard you correctly, they can be sort of merged into, or they can be separate. What is this sneak? Because one would ask, well, wouldn't your employment contract tell you those same things? Or in ways that distinct from the statement of working conditions?
Well, they are contractual agreement that not stipulated in the Labor Act. That means that you can go beyond what the Labor Act says.
Okay.
The Labor Act give you the standards, what you have to do, but your employment contract can go beyond that.
Right. So as an example, and if the employer and the employee contractually agree to something, there's any contention that one did extract something at expense of the other through whatever means, they can agree, the employer can ask the employee to agree, hey, come in and work Sunday and I want to pay $2 or nothing at all or time. That may not be a far-fetched, but can they agree, can the employee agree to almost anything once it's in writing?
No.
They
shouldn't. I can't say they can't agree because we see different cases, but they shouldn't.
Okay.
Because, as I said, the Labor Act have stipulations. Like you say, $4, $2. No, we have a minimum wage.
Okay.
No employer should pay an employee below the minimum wage. You can pay above, but not below.
Right.
And this is kind of why I was asking that initial question for that prospective employee or even the current employee. Maybe you think you know, maybe you don't realize how easy it is to have it explained to you if you take 4 hours to get it, a crash course in labor legislation. This could benefit you. As an example to what I was trying to hopefully not confuse anyway, but if that employee signs an agreement where the employee says, can you agree to do this at this time with this amount, you might find out that, no, really, I shouldn't, I couldn't, but you wouldn't know otherwise because you're doing it.
Right. And the good thing is, in relation to that, is that employee is still protected because the Labor Act does say that any employer who offers employment that the benefits fall below the minimum requirements of the Labor Act, that specific section then falls away.
Okay.
So again, it has that level of protection, and I know my colleague did answer you earlier as it relates to the difference of a contract and the standard
statement of
working conditions. But the contract is something that can be written or oral. Okay, so the statement of working conditions is something that has to be given to an employee within 10 days of them being employed.
Right.
So that is the main difference there.
Well, I appreciate you emphasizing that, and I want to know these questions asked because you've been so great with your just even here, giving us an insight into it. But I would venture and I'll ask you to guide me if I have it somewhat misstated. But that employee would now benefit from this attendance to appreciate, I signed something and now I know what the labor legislation says, and if this thing I sign isn't, sort of conforming with it, I have a recourse.
Exactly.
Carefully, I'll ask this. Some of us perhaps don't want to attend certain things because we don't want to be associated with others to assume and infer, oh, yeah, he's into that, or if I go to this thing looking, the employer might look funny. This is just education. This is no different than a course at UCCI on cake decorating. You just getting knowledge.
That's it. Right.
And that time away from that to attend this, is the employer required to give that? Does the employee have to make some sort of concession agreement to attend it? Because there are people who want knowledge, but they don't want, for whatever reason, perception otherwise, their co-workers, the employer, anybody to think. I mean, can we kind of think about it and maybe ask when we come back from the break?
Sure.
All right. It's a cliffhanger. He leaves dangling. Who will answer? Hey, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway Series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with the creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway Series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delicioso.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Hey, Mom and Dad. School is nearly back in session. Is your child ready for the school year? Stop by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village and pick up all your child's stationery supplies. You won't need to break the bank to get your little one prepared for the school year. You have enough to worry about. Make back to school a breeze with Savannah Pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, or call 946-3336. Savannah Pharmacy supports your education in our small community. That's why the first 20 customers will receive a free fully stocked school bag. Savannah Pharmacy. We love our community.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us, and to all of the civil servants everywhere. Thank you very much for what you do. And there used to be a newspaper publication that seemed to be disparaging of public service, but we know the dedication and the competence, and for what it's worth. Thanks very much. Some people don't appreciate how hard it is. And you just hear from good friends over at Department of Labor and Pensions. Through you, Ms. Sasha, as we direct, the conversation, the training, I try to ask a question, hopefully, somewhat respectfully, but not too convoluted. There are people who are unwilling to go certain places because they don't want to be perceived. In this training, that employee who's coming, the employer would understandably want more information and be able to be compliant and do the right thing the right way. But an employee, for whatever reason, should they have any concerns with coming when they approach to come? How would they go about it?
Well, if an employee have certain doubts or restriction to come into the training, and they have specific questions or specific information that they would like for us to provide, we encourage everyone. You can just pick up your phone, give us a call. Everything that you discuss with us is totally confidential. We don't even need to know your name. We just answer the question according to the Labor Act. Or you can visit our office and complete an inquiry form, meet one-to-one with an officer and ask your question. We're not going to go back to your employer unless you want us to.
Okay. And it's just information.
Right. And as it relates to the training, I mean, what we love so far with the people who have signed up is that they are well aware that it benefits them if they send their employees to hear it from someone outside of the department or their company, that this is what we have to do. So, like, for example, vacation. An employee may be of the opinion that they're entitled to 14 days vacation because the Labor Act says 2 weeks. But if the employer is trying to tell you, no, it's 10 days based on the amount of days of the week you work, they might not take it willingly from them. But if they come to the training, they hear it from the Department of Labor and Pensions, they'll be more open and more understanding to that. So I must say that we have not had any kickback so far with employers not being willing for the employees to come. They've sent employees, and actually I've seen companies who have actually opened it up. Okay, we are paying for 10 spots, and any of the employees that wants to go, we will let them attend.
Okay.
Because once you educate your staff, it makes it a lot easier for you. So the staff is aware that if I get a warning letter, I know what I mean.
Yeah.
I have the knowledge to protect myself and protect my job. So you're doing them a favor. And if you're an employee and you're thinking that the employer may have an issue with you coming on daytime, then you got your vacation days, like I said, take the day off, come to the training. You don't have to take the picture that we love to take, but there's always ways around coming and getting the knowledge that we have out there.
And that knowledge might help you in your current job. The employer sending employees in their sort of, was it talent management, HR, used to be personnel, back then when my dinosaur was a pet, but it changes. But that is beneficial. But there are also supervisors. There's also an employee with great potential. As Ms. Sasha, you were sharing, the more you know, the better you are, but the better you're able to, grow an organization. So $75. Someone spend more than that on coffee.
Yes. No, and we offer coffee, we offer refreshment, juices, snack, etc. Not a lot, but yeah.
Hey, someone $75, guys. Come on.
Exactly.
And at the end of your training, you will get a certification from the DLP office signed by our management team, by the director, particularly the director. So I just want to wrap up my training by saying that, as I said, the upcoming training is September 11 at our department. And if you have not registered, we have a few places for the September training, but we do have another training coming up on the 5th of December. So fill out your registration form, visit our website at www.dlp.gov.ky, or you can contact me directly by sending me an email at elizabeth.mcintosh2@gov.ky, or just pick up the phone and give me a call, 244-4036.
Okay. if I might, Mr. Elizabeth, as you're wrapping up, the sort of the presentation here and then extended invitation, it is the Department of Labor and Pensions. We're talking about the Labor Act. Is this training just on labor? Does the pensions component somehow come into that discussion, or this in relation to the Labor Act?
Okay, so this training is specifically under the Labor Act. Now, as Ms. Elizabeth just mentioned, we have a wonderful website that we just got it up and running again, which is another exciting thing for us. And they can actually go onto the website, and it's under the Public Awareness Training tab that you can see all training that is offered by all sections of the department. So we have Labor Act training, we have pensions training, then we have inspect training, which is accidents and
safety.
Health safety. Yeah. So all the information, our entire calendar for the year with all scheduled trainings can be found there. The forms is required to be filled out. Also, all of the information you need to sign one of the training, whether it's labor, pensions, or inspection, is there. There's no excuse for you to say, I don't know where to get the information. And if that bad, walk in the front door and say, can I have a form sign up because I want to attend training? And he will help you.
So on the 11th of September, registration has to be completed by what?
Absolutely. Early registration and early payment. You make your payment, you secure your spot. So normally ask 2 to 3 weeks before the training for it to be paid for, so you can absolutely secure your spot.
Okay. And how can payment be made?
We only accept checks or draft issued to the Cayman Island government. No cash, sorry, no debit card, no credit card.
Okay. And then that has to be brought to your offices over at Midtown second floor?
That's correct. So registration can be done online. Once the registration is done, it will come to me, and I will reach out to that person, and the payment will be done to our department, which is located, as you said, at the second floor at Midtown Plaza. Midtown Plaza is right at the roundabout, so it's right in the middle of town.
Right down here from Radio Cayman.
And just to make it clear, the check should be made out to the Cayman Islands government and not to the Department of Labor and Pensions.
Right. Payable to Cayman's government or CI government.
Yes.
But
Yes, sir.
And you can't make it payable to me, okay? I can't endorse it. Thank you for offering. No, I just kidding. But it is, from the people who've attended and just from what you shared, just that sort of overview, invaluable for, every individual, even that law student, for instance, who's going to take, Cayman legislation to that business person who's just in the early stages of setting up, getting an understanding.
Yeah.
All right.
We extend the invitation also to, as you just mentioned, to those university college students. One day you're going to be on one side of the fence. So come out, visit us, let us know what you'd like to know, and we are there to attend. And before I go, hablamos español. Así que los invito a todos a registrarse si están interesados en asistir al entrenamiento. En estos momentos el entrenamiento es solamente la sección laboral. Pero como dijo mi compañera anteriormente en inglés, también ofrecemos otros entrenamientos que los pueden encontrar en nuestro sitio web, que es www.dlp.gov.ky. ¿Ok? Ya vemos muchas personas que hablamos español. Gracias.
Yeah, that was every single thing you said.
Yeah.
Understood.
Can you do it now when you stand now? But this is where we understand the multicultural element of the Cayman community, and employers have many staff who speak many different languages, and they want to serve their customers. So sometimes things get lost in translation. Sometimes we're not cognizant. But one thing I think we all can subscribe to is social media.
Yeah.
So can we talk about it when we come back?
Sure.
How that plays out, and maybe just remind people of the training before we close as well.
Sure.
All right, to our listeners, ask you to stay tuned, listen to our news headlines, and then when we come back, please rejoin us. Open line will commence at 1:30. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest news, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Anti-Corruption Commission has charged Douglas Anthony Smith, 48, of North Sound Estates, and Sean Michael Absher Scott, 24, of Georgetown, on October the 13th with the following charges: conspiracy to commit fraud on the government, obtaining property by deception, and being involved in a money laundering arrangement. Both will appear in court at 10 a.m. on Tuesday the 27th of August. In regional news, in Bahamas, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell has revealed that Prime Minister Philip Davis has been ordered to take bed rest after apparently disobeying doctors and overstraining himself weeks after ongoing surgery in the United States. Mitchell, who represents Fox Hill in Parliament, explained that Davis's absence from a church service celebrating Fox Hill Day was due to the doctor's orders. Despite having proceeded over a cabinet meeting earlier this week, Prime Minister Davis took an early break. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville has previously announced a successful surgery to correct sciatica, but Mitchell suggested that the Prime Minister may have overexerted himself too soon after the procedure. Mitchell emphasized the importance of following doctor's orders and assured that Davis would be back up and running soon. The Belizean government has clarified its decision to acquire land for the construction of a new hospital, which will be funded by Saudi Arabia and also serve as a university hospital for the University of Belize. In April 2023, the cabinet approved the construction of a modern National Referral Territory Care Hospital, backed by a US $45 million loan from the Saudi Arabia Fund for Development. The project received parliamentary approval in May and was signed into law on June 23rd. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
It's one of the best moments of your life when you welcome your baby into the world. The HSA's experienced women's health and maternity team provides the highest quality of care throughout your pregnancy and delivery. As a JCI accredited hospital, we are the leader in maternal care, safely delivering over 700 babies annually. Visit hsa.ky for more information. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The Cayman Islands has a rich history of recognizing sports and recreation as an important element in the social and economic development of these islands. In 1935, Governor Cornwall organized the first regatta for catboats and schooners, both as a social event and as a means of encouraging tourists visiting Jamaica to come to the Cayman Islands. By 1947, it was recommended that every school should have a sports day, followed by the first inter-school sports day held in 1949. By 1976, the Cayman sailing team was in the Olympics, followed by the island's participation in CARIFTA, Central America and Caribbean Games, Pan American Games, the Commonwealth Games, Island Games, World Championships in athletics, and World Cup qualifiers in football.
There can only be one. Get ready for the thrilling finale of the 2024 Siwa National Tour. The fourth and final race kicks off at 11:30 a.m. Sunday, August 25th at Collier's Public Beach in East End. Watch division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Watler, Brandon Elliott, and Rennie Ortega battle to claim their season championship. There can only be one leader of the pack. The 2024 Siwa Tour is sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Sign, Guides, JNM Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Seabreeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farms, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM. The 2024 SeaWorld Finals, 11:30 a.m. Sunday, August 25th at Collier's Public Beach in Easton. The champions are founded upon the seas.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'm very, very grateful to say, I always wanted to be, and whether it's elected or appointed, to be a public servant, to serve your country. And I think the best uniform to put on is one that doesn't require you to be, my family and friends who do so. I honor and respect their dedication and genuine sacrifice to be genuine on the front lines as soldiers, right? However you want to call that. But we're supposed to be living in a civil society, a peacetime. So maybe your uniform is, Department of Labor and Pensions, it's the police, or, it's in, I call it immigration, customs, what? CBC, no?
CBC.
Wear that uniform to serve your country in a civil society as part of, this era of hopefully peace and not war. And I say that to share that as public servants, you guys make us very proud as many, so thank you. The training, what do you say? It was, if I wrote it down, I probably can't read my writing. Engagement, enforcement, and education. Right? I probably should have read it down, but if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to read it. I probably
I'll
wouldn't be
leave
able to
you
see
with
it.
my copy.
There you go. and those are three key components, because education encompasses all, and it's empowering. Now, sometimes, Mr. Rosales, if you want to start with, that education for many of us, as much as I may abhor the idea of social media, it's there. It's literally in front of us. And many people get their news, their information, their education through social media.
Yep.
So if it's timely and accurate, it's good. But if it isn't, and you don't know otherwise, you're going to be just as ill-informed as the next one. So government is in social media and not just posting about, something they did, but something that is actually makes sense, right?
Exactly.
Alrighty.
All right, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Senior Inspector Rosales from the Department of Labor and Pensions, and I am here today to inform everyone that our department, Labor and Pensions, is now on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey.
Yes.
And a round of applause, please.
We will be sharing lots of useful information regarding the Labor Act and the National Pensions Act, information such as the training that it's coming up. And we're here today to encourage everyone to please follow and like our Facebook page, Department of Labor and Pensions, and our Instagram page is DLP Cayman, one word. Our original Facebook page was compromised some time ago, and we have just created a new one. So we definitely need the public to engage with the page, spread the word so that we can gain followers. We will soon be announcing giveaways as well on our social media pages for persons to attend our very famous and informative Labor Act training seminars for free. So please make sure to follow us on social media so that you don't miss out on this great opportunity to win a spot for one of the trainings. I don't think we are able to give out any spaces at this coming one because from my understanding, we're almost at capacity. So definitely for the one that it's coming up in September. So in December, sorry. So keep an eye on that. And once again, our Facebook page, Department of Labor and Pensions, Instagram page, DLP Cayman, all one word. And please follow us, share, comment. We have lots of useful information on our website also, www.dlp.gov.ky. So we're looking forward to see all of your followers doing. We're looking forward to see them following and liking and sharing our content. Sorry.
Yes.
And this is where, as you shared the idea that you subscribe to an official source, we've seen the use of artificial intelligence recreating things that are, if you didn't know no better, you would think that thing just happened, whether it's involving that person or it's about some event, and without knowing. But appreciating what you're doing the timeliness, the accuracy. If I can then ask, some of us like a phone call, some of us prefer to be in person, some of us will send an email because it's easy. Send an email, you respond to it. It doesn't, bother you like a ring on the phone or knocking on the door. In your social media, whether it's Facebook or other stuff, if someone has a labor-related question, can they submit that and get a response? Or like, how does it work?
So what we have been doing so far is we try to post at least 3 times for the week.
Mm-hmm.
So we post on specific topics.
Mm-hmm.
If someone wants to comment on the post and ask a question, of course, we will definitely give them an answer to the question on our post. If someone wants to send us a private message via DM on Instagram or Facebook, that's welcome also. So our goal is really to share as much information as possible and to reach as much people as possible.
And I think it would help people as you share, regularly on particular topics of interest that affects almost every employer or every sector at some point. Someone could say, well, I wonder what this is, ask that question. That could become the post to somebody else that informs
exactly.
without, the person feeling, sort of individualized in a sense, but getting an answer that could be all-encompassing.
Correct.
I appreciate that. I may not be the one that's the greatest champion of it, but I see the benefit. And I'm glad that you guys are young, and your youthful energy, you can take out the mantle. Hey, Miss Sasha.
Yes, I agree. We're so young in here.
If you actually go through our Instagram page at the moment, I'm not sure if all of the posts have transferred over to Facebook page because, as I just said a while ago, our Facebook page was recently compromised. But if you look at our Instagram page, you'll find lots of useful information on there already about specific sections of the law that people always want to get more information on. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, I encourage everyone. I know you have quite a bit of followers as well. And I look forward to you sharing our posts as well.
As we come off air, he has to show me evidence before we leave that he is following our Facebook and our Instagram.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And from what I gather, right, this is where you can actually follow somebody and not fall foul of that particular legislation. Yes. So you have permission to like, follow, subscribe. But I joke about it often, but that's where technology is so important, and you can get an instantaneous response. You can get information to people in a timely way, almost as immediate as radio.
Yes.
And with this, we watch how people learn. That 30-second sort of little blurb can be so instructive, so informative, directing someone to something that if they wish, further clarification.
Yes,
so
and we try to keep it fun as well. So we really look forward to see people following us and engaging with our pages, and hopefully we are able to answer your query. If you don't want to come forward or if you don't want to contact the department, then the information will be there. For those persons that do not want to come forward and ask.
Right. And in relation to what my colleague said, if you are a little iffy about letting people know you have concerns, we do have a confidential hotline as well. Mm-hmm. So that hotline number is 945-3073. You can leave a message there with your concern, and we can get back to you, whatever means that you tell us that you would like us to communicate with you on, or if it's just that you're providing us with information and we or the director at that time will make a decision to say if it's something that the respective unit is required to look into. So there's always available avenues to get in touch with us. Like at this point, this day and age, my baby always tell me I'm from the olden days. Well, I question that, but at this point in time, we have a lot more avenues that we can utilize to get information, to the relevant party without their feeling like their job is being put at risk. Yeah. And that is very important because we want the public to be aware that anyone that comes to us that do not want anyone outside of the department knowing that they have come seeking assistance, we are obligated to keep that information private and confidential. No one knows that you come to that department through us. Now, if you want to walk out the door and tell your friend downstairs, I just came from labor, then not on you.
Yeah.
But
Right.
as officers, we have that, we have to keep that person information confidential. So if you don't want to post on social media, or if you want to send us a private message on social media, we will respond to you privately, and we'll provide you with that legal or, the avenues that you would have to go through in the event that you want to get a formal response from us. So someone is always active on our Instagram page. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers, but, there's always someone there that's monitoring it for us. So that is a great avenue. Like, I myself look forward to the post. Like, as it come out, I'm resharing it. I'm liking everybody post that reshares it as well. And one of my favorite posts was the health and safety one that was posted about the heat. Right now, we know the island is so hot. Like, I know we live in Cayman, like, forever. But this heat, for me, is a total different level of heat. And that post remind people, hey, you need breaks. You need to keep hydrated. And it's nothing long that you have to read to get the point of it. It just gives you that reminder. It's really hot out there. Keep yourself and your staff hydrated. That for me was very important information that sent me a reminder in less than a minute.
Yeah. And it works for all of us who know better, but for some reason we don't. And you just take a quick second and rehydrate. I got a quick comment from one of our listeners, and a question I want to ask. But the idea of being on social media and updating timely, accurate updates. Thanks, Ms. Sasha, because I don't think people understand how crucial that is and how much time consuming it is important, but how much effort it takes to do that. You can't post something today and then ignore it.
No. Like what Miss Sasha was saying, we really have to, we are really on top of the page, and we try to answer any comments or DMs as soon as the person sends them.
Two messages or questions, if I may ask, that have been sent through. One wants to confirm that the Labor Act, the labor legislation, applies to all employees, Caymanian and non-Caymanian, like work permit holder, non-work permit. Does it apply to everybody? The same benefits, entitlements?
It does.
Across the board.
And the one thing that we have to stress is the Labor Act is not for the public service. It is only for the private sectors.
Okay.
So if you're working for the police, we can help you.
So any core government?
Yes, unless it is an authority, then we can look into it to make sure that they do fall under the Labor Act. But core government does not fall under the Labor Act.
Yeah. I still say labor law,
Which is not blank.
And I still call you guys labor office, so I'm getting there. But
we're getting it. I mean, sometimes we were like, because of the people we deal with, they refer to us as the labor board.
Yeah.
So we will find ourselves saying, like, come to the labor board. No, it's not the labor board. It's the labor department. But you go again with what people recognize and know you as. So. Yeah,
it's important. So it applies to
everyone.
Yeah, and if you're a sole, employee in your company, well, there's certain things that may apply to you.
Pension still applies to you as
Of
well.
course, yes. And I wanted to touch on something as well. We recently posted about Section 57 of the Labor Act, which requires every employer or every person that's starting a business to register the business with our department within 30 days, right? And I was a bit surprised to see to confirm that not a lot of persons know that.
Yes.
And this is where this training comes into play.
Exactly.
You don't mean to be a follower of the law, but
you
are.
So even if you're just one person, if you're self-employed and it's just you have to register your business with the Department of Labor and Pensions. The form can be found on our website, and we look forward to seeing those registrations coming in as well.
Right. So just for clarity, that registration with your office, is that separate and distinct from applying for a trade and business license?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yes, it is. So once you obtain your trade and business license, then your next step should be heading over to our either our website or our office and filling out the business registration form.
It's not automatic. You got your business license, you've done all the stuff, but this is separate and distinct.
Separate. Yes.
Okay. Listener is asking if an Caymanian employee, or since we are an employee who has now completed the probationary period. Make sure I got this correctly. Put this on here. Why does that happen much? And the probation is up, or in this case, if after 6 months of employment, would vacation accrue if they only been after 6 months?
Correct. So the Labor Act says that from day one of employment, you're earning your vacation. Okay, so you're not entitled to take it while you're on probation, but once you complete that probation, then any vacation that you've earned up until that point in time, you can apply and take it. Now, the employer can choose to advance vacation that has not yet been earned. So after completing probation, say you work 6 months and you want to take a week off. The Labor Act says you're entitled to 2 weeks. So if that employer says, okay, fine, I'll grant you it, because you have to apply. You can't tell the employer you're taking it because you're putting yourself in trouble. If you apply for that and the employer says, okay, you've earned it, you've completed probation, I'll approve it. You take that leave. Now, say, for example, you want to take your full 2 weeks, which is your entitlement for the year. It's left to that employer to make that decision to say they're going to advance you the full 2 weeks because you have not yet earned
You've
that
earned
full
one.
2 weeks. Right. So it can be prorated. You're earning vacation each month of your employment within that 12-month period.
Okay. Can I just ask, and from inference, perhaps maybe what is being asked here as well, just inferring. Can an employer say, listen, you got to work 12 months first, that 1 year, and then you get your 2 weeks or whatever's agreed. Can the employer say that? You got to work a year first before you get your vacation.
Yeah, we do see that employers have taken that, that angle. But again, the approval of it and the taking of it is an agreement between the employer and the employee. Okay. So the Labor Act tells you what your entitlements are. Now, when it's taken, that has to be, you have to apply for it, and the employer approves it.
Yeah. And this is where increasingly, so many times we probably don't appreciate that, people in the financial services sector, for instance, may have issues relative to vacation. Allegedly, some would have shared, well, the employer precludes vacation during this time of year. If you take vacation, you must do this, check in with the office or whatever. Those are things that would, probably seem unreasonable to some or seem standard to the industry.
Yes, and that's where your statement of working conditions and your employment contract comes in handy. So all of these things from day one should be outlined in your contract or your statement of working conditions to say what is required of you when you're going to take vacation. So we have some entities out there like the tourism department. Things are slow during specific months. Yeah. So they can say to you, we would recommend that vacation is taken between these months. Yeah, because it's slow season, it doesn't affect the employer, significantly, and then it gives you that time to go off.
And I'm also thinking perhaps schools, school year seems to be standard across all schools, but for some reason, we're adults, right? The employee, the teacher may want to take vacation and during the school year. Well, why can't I? Because you got a class to teach. Is that reasonable?
I mean, again, these are the things that they sign up and they have an understanding of what their rights are as it relates to when you can take vacation. Now, what the employee has to understand is that the employer has the last say. They have to approve that vacation. So while you may think they're being unreasonable, please do not leave. Because then your next step after you come back on Cayman Airways will be to see us. Because you're creating an unnecessary position. You're putting yourself in an unnecessary position at that time.
Maybe this would be a good time for you to guide me so that if it's incorrect, I don't say it anymore. But I would tell individuals, as an employee, you're like on a prisoner work release program. You sign an agreement. You are told when you need to be to work, your working conditions, when you can leave and not before, and when you have to return again, permission to, take leave. That's not to be facetious, but that's basically what it is. You have now contracted with this entity to do this thing at this time for this amount in these circumstances, and you can't do it willy-nilly. I mean, is that...
And you're being paid for it. Yeah. So I'm saying to you that I will offer you a job under these conditions, and then you will get X amount. Now, if that's not something that you agree with, please don't sign the contract.
And I think this is where, again, these training are beneficial for that prospective employee or that current employee, but also that employer and that entrepreneur who's thinking, I can need staff at some point. Hiring John because John knows how to do this, but
and under training as well, we cover a lot of things like maternity leave. Well, paternity leave is not in the Labor Act, because we get that question every training session, so that's not there. We have the gratuities as well, because every training session we have, being a gratuity officer, people are very surprised when they have the information from the gratuitous, knowing how you have to apply for a gratuitous scheme and what it entails. So you get so much knowledge, like you learn so much. Like sometimes I feel like, well, I gave you everything I know, now what am I going to do? So we can't stress enough how important this training session is, and not just the labor training, but the pensions training and the health and safety training. They go hand in hand. If you're going to run a business, you need to have all training that the department offers.
And I'm so grateful that you've come on and you've shared, and just the potential questions that we may have, knowing that expertise is there, and knowing that your regular postings can help us. So if we got follow, right? And that doesn't mean literally following. So you're not going to be creepy.
Literally, as we are here now, I assume these are your followers and your listeners, because I'm seeing
two of them.
I'm seeing quite a few people. I'm seeing quite a amount of new followers now. Since we're here, so that is a good thing.
And we appreciate you guys. Keep following us.
Yes, please.
And also
follow us and share our page.
Following the government, social media, to the respective departments, I think is crucial. You get informed, you get timely, accurate information. It's not something that is spoofed or something that is unreliable. And for those who are doing it, this device is attached to us. It's another appendage, and it's what we need to do. But your organization might say, listen, we got to limit that, and it might be a sensible reason. But having that to hand and knowing the training can put you in a better position to advance an organization, but also, maintain a good quality of sort of work-life balance, right?
Yes, yes, for sure. And if I may add, now that we are about to close, and on the topic of training, the inspections unit also offers health and safety training, specifically for those persons in the construction field or a similar field. We do offer training, which is done by our head of inspections, Mr. Gene Hides. So please feel free to reach out to us as well if you're interested in getting your staff trained.
I'll be, again, mindful, but you just sparked a thought. As I say this, that construction sector, Mr. Hides has been on, that training for health and safety, the supervisor, the superintendent, that general contractor, that employer in that sector, does this training, provides the necessary equipment. God forbid there's a mishap on the job site. You've taken those measures that could help to mitigate any potential liability. I'm thinking, but you as an employee might say, my employer should have guardrails. Now, they may seem sensible, they may seem common sense, but you're trying to get the job done. You're not paying attention to it. Exactly. Now that you are aware that, this makes sense. This is why this is.
Yes.
And that employee can refuse to go up on a scaffolding that, is not secure. And how do you know what secure is? So that's why all training, like I stressed before, that the labor department on a whole offers. While yes, we're here to promote the labor unit training, we want to make sure that everyone understands all training that the department has to offer is very important, and it affects both employers and employees. So please take advantage of it. I mean, we're doing our part to get everyone out there educated, but we can only do so much. Like, the old people would say, you could take the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Yes.
I that is one thing that I have actually invited the public to help me, because that used to frustrate me. Why you spend all this time and effort, energy, and expense to get that horse to the water, and then it's going to look at itself and just drown and die of thirst, right? Then a friend said, well, you can salt the hay. But still, and it's as true as they said it then as it is now, right? So we providing the horse the water, the drink and everything, and we're putting you there, but you got to drink of it, right?
You have to.
Yes, it's for your own benefit.
Yes.
Well, this is, and I say this with great respect and admiration, wow, very appreciative you coming on as often as you have, telling the public about the training, when it is, where it is, but now we emphasizing why it's important.
Yes.
For those who have, started on and follow, encourage others.
Yes.
Labor legislation affects us all. We don't understand it to the extent as to when it impacts us then and there.
Exactly.
So ask for vacation. Don't assume you can take it, because when you come back after Cayman Airways, nice trip to.
Yes, it will be to see us. I mean, we welcome everyone to see us, but we don't want it to be on the occasion where you were terminated. We want you to come in, just to say hi. We like those sorts of visits.
Hi.
Yes, like come and say hi. Like I attended your training. It's great, but we hate when we have to deal with those sorts of termination, because it affects people's lives.
Yeah.
It affects the employer as well. It put them in a position where they don't have the staff to complete or continue their operation. But it affects the employee, where they now no longer has that income to support their family. So a lot of people, and one of the things that we love to drive home at our training is like, we don't take sides. So that's the first statement we say. We are mediators. We enforce the Labor Act. We do not say John Brown is right. We are here to give you information, to mediate processes in line with the Labor Act only. So we know that a lot of people say we take the employee side or we take the employer side. That is so far from the truth. We can only provide guidance based on what the Labor Act says. And we're now here sharing that with you, so you have the understanding and the means to help yourself. Because they always tell you when growing up that you need to be able to help yourself first. And that's what we're doing. We're giving you everything you need to help yourself.
See that good East End reason?
Yeah. I listen growing up.
You pay attention.
Yes.
And most importantly, it's free.
Yeah.
Right? So free. You're getting free legal advice when you're contacting our department.
But we don't give legal advice.
Well,
but we tell you what the Labor Act says.
So free advice on the Labor Act and the National Pensions Act.
When you come into the office.
What more than that?
Yes, but when you do the training again, it is a small fee for the training, but with what you're leaving with, you're getting, for me, the favorite part of anything I attend is the food, and we can have talk after. We can have talk. But, we have the light refreshments, we have the breaks in between, and employers and employees take that same opportunity to be like, well, we had this situation last week. How do we deal with this? And we'll quickly run through that, and then other employees will be like, well, that's not how I handle it. And we'll be like, oh, really? So it's never dull and boring and you drop in sleep. There's always some sort of action or learning situation that is being presented, and we're helping everyone. When they leave there, they'll be like, okay, so now I need to go home and fix my contract because this is so not right, or the employer will be like, thank you, we form bonds, and that's what we want as well. Where when you pick up the phone and you call Sasha, you know how Sasha look, you know who you're talking to, you feel more confident having that conversation with her or with, Miss Medanis or Miss Elizabeth. So these are the things while we're delivering the message, we're forming bonds between employers and employees as well.
That engagement you're talking about, right?
Yes, exactly.
And the education is obvious. Exactly.
Yes.
But enforcement, I think, from what you shared, is enforcing the law.
Yes.
If it's the employee that is wrong, the employee is wrong. If the employer is wrong,
correct.
Because it's about being impartial, objective. They say the ignorance is bliss, but I don't believe that. It's costly.
Yes.
We'll be always appreciative of every time we can help you do your publications, even though with your social media, you still can use us, okay? We're there for you. As we go around the table, if you wish, any closing thoughts, Ms. McIntosh, and then, of course, Ms. Sasha.
Yes, so again, our Facebook page, Department of Labor and Pensions, our Instagram page, DLP Cayman, all one word. Please follow us, share our content, just engage so that we can grow our pages and, benefit more persons. And before, I'm not sure if Miss Elizabeth was going to get to that, but by August 28th, we would like to see everyone registered. Everyone that's going to attend the training, please register before August 28th.
Yeah, and not only that, since Miss Modernist stole my topic, I cannot take the part. So
sorry, complimented you.
So remember that we'll be doing some giving away on our social media. If you know,
still in my topic.
Follow us, follow us, and you'll have the opportunity to gain a spot in our coming December training, 5th of December. And call me, email me, or just the department, go to our website. Si no pueden escribirlo en inglés, escríbanlo en español. I have clients that English is not their first language, Spanish is their first language. They send me email in Spanish. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We can assist.
All right. Well, thank you for being available. And Ms. Asha, fantastic team. You guys work exceptionally hard. The legislation sometimes may seem, to some to be very daunting, but you break it down and you make us at least know that we have an access.
Yes, we do. Because that's one of our goals. Our intention is, we can't stress enough. We're here to help. We're not here to crucify anyone. Now, don't get me wrong. If we have to, which is the last means that we try to utilize, we will then take that step. Again, we don't have the last say, but we have to do what the legislation say is required in order to bring a matter to a resolution. But we always start with the education element of it. If we find a breach, we'll say, hey, the Labor Act says X, Y, and Z. This is what you have to do to correct it. If it's corrected, great, we move on. If we get pushed back, then obviously, yes, we have to take whatever steps necessary, which normally means having to get legal guidance from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Now, we try to avoid that step entirely if we can, because we try to help both parties understand what your rights are as an employee, understands what your rights are as an employer. Once everybody gets that clear, then I think they'll have a great working atmosphere, which we want everyone to have here. So my colleagues who didn't steal each other's topics for the record, they worked as a team.
Complimentary, right?
Yes, we promote team, okay? They're Miss Elizabeth, who has done a tremendous job so far this year, running our training sessions, making sure everything is in order. And the rest of the labor team as well. We all will be at the training session, each member of the training team of the labor team, so they will get an opportunity to meet each one of us as well. It is just heartfelt to know that we have such caring members on our team. We'll go over and beyond to help you where we can. Miss Medanis, the social media queen. She keep us going. It's amazing. She has taken that on and run with it. Each member of the labor unit, the Department of Labor and Pension as well, brings their aspect, or they contribute something positive to the department, not just us. We just a small, portion of the department. And before we leave, not only do we want to thank your listeners for joining us today, but we also would like to thank our department for trusting us and in believing in us that we could come here and do the job that they expect to be done. And who best to do it but us?
Sterling effort.
Yes. So we thank each one of you, and we know they are listening, because one thing we do is support each other. As we walk out the door, we see the YouTube channels pop up. Everybody's listening. Everybody's watching. So we thank everyone at work as well for listening and following. We look forward to your feedback, because we could only get better as we move forward. And I will be communicating with you again, because we will be discussing in the future our gratuity, which is a hot topic as well. And we want to promote that and have understanding there as well. I thank you so much for your speedy response to every email that I send you. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for having us on here. And again, your listeners is key. Without them, we cannot accomplish our goals. So thank each one of you. And even if your friends didn't listen, the good thing is you can replay the YouTube, which we will do when we get back to office as well.
Well, you are most welcome. And I'm grateful because you provide information as timely as accurate, but you present it in a way that is accessible. And I think that is oftentimes we don't know how to find something because we don't know where to go, whom to ask. So thanks very much. And this, small fee. For some, it may seem like a lot, but the investment, the return, the education, information you get, it's invaluable. So thanks very much.
Right.
Glad to be a good partner. And
Thanks for having us.
always a pleasure. All right, we're going to pause and take a break. Mr. Carl, what do you want to do when we come back? Let's go fishing? I'll tell you what. Let's see if we're here when we come back from the break. But you have to stay tuned just to find out.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments August 15th to the 20th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email Dr. Porter Cayman at gmail.com. That's drportercayman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Radio Cayman, your #1 community station, would like to remind you that we are in the hurricane season, and in order to survive a hurricane, you need to be prepared. If officials' sources say a hurricane is imminent, please board up or shutter up windows in your home or place of business. Remember to use good lumber, as makeshift boarding may actually cause more damage. Also put strong bracing on outside doors so that they are not blown off or blown in.
This hurricane advice was brought to you by Radio Cayman, your caring community radio station.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And it is open line as we take the calls. Just a quick thank you to all the fantastic public servants across the civil service. They do amazing, incredible work. And for some of us, we don't say thanks to them enough. We don't even appreciate their continued service. I don't want to say sacrifice, I say an investment, but they give tirelessly. So thank you. And on behalf of the Department of Labor and Pensions, that next training exercise on the 11th of September, please sign up now. Whether you're an employer, an employee, whether you're a sole, employer, well, this is it. Let's take these calls though. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, how are you today, man?
Oh, not too bad. Giving thanks. I'm thankful.
Good to hear from you, man. Listen, through you, we can be reminded of much.
I want to speak to you about a spiritual sort of subject. Because, there's a big difference between, it's not even, as I was telling this lady this morning, it's not even about the color of a man's skin. It is, there's one of the biggest divisions is the good and the evil. Good and evil.
Uh-huh.
Now, it's hard, I believe, for the good man to make it with the evil man. They can't walk together, right?
Scripture says what? Evil can't dwell in the presence of the Lord, right? So.
Yeah. So I was saying that even though I might have a relative of mine we can't walk together because of the evil. Anyway, I don't want to try to exalt myself.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody that lives in that kind of way, in an evil way, whether it be a relative or not, you can't make it with that person.
But remember now, all have sinned, fallen short of the glory. We're reminded, right? So perhaps through our actions and endeavors, we can be an example to others, not self-righteous and indignant, but trying to be in right standing. All right.
What? Something that I said, it kind of rests on my heart to say, to call you and say, Mr. Sterling, I think we should try to remember as often as we can that in my belief that God is watching us.
Mm-hmm.
You got good and evil, you got angels, you got demons. Some people might disagree, but I think so. And we need to remember that in my belief, according to a lot of people as well, that God is watching us. It's different ways of describing it. A lot of people talk about the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and then you got a lot different types, different religions, but there is great power, good and evil.
Right. What is I mean, we have another caller, and I don't want you to feel any less important than that caller, right?
No.
And as you share with us, I'm reminded, the scripture, was it, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right?
Right.
So we each, and this isn't about you, this is for me to remind myself, we each got to be mindful of that, whether we are, aware of it. We're sinful. We sin.
Right.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Because I wanted to say what I was explaining to the person this morning. If you believe in having good friendships with people, and the other person believe in looking trouble with people, but no, you know that they got separated. No, you can't walk with that person, because you're gonna go and look problems,
right,
and bring problem to you.
But what you do,
right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go nowhere with that kind of person. You can't do that because they're gonna always be having a sulky face and trying to look problems with people, and then you trying to say hello and trying to be nice, and the other person trying to be evil. So you have to separate.
Mm. Well, you
know what I mean?
Yeah, we just try to be the best we can, the best example. We be as encouraging, and through, what we're doing and saying, if there's consistency between our words and our actions, that person may not admit it publicly, but they may have to acknowledge at least privately that you're doing the right thing as best as you can, right?
And it also, another thing is not even about nationality, either, not about the color of your skin.
None of those
and
things.
It's not about nationality, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It is the behavior of people sometimes. Sometimes when you're growing up,
mm-hmm.
and you got a troublemaker, and that person like to cause problems with people.
Mm-hmm.
And then got to try to calm them down and say, well, why you don't behave yourself? And you always got to tell them over and over and over, behave yourself, why don't you behave yourself? But God is watching us.
Well, I probably would be the first to acknowledge that, I'm not the best in remembering scripture and certainly which chapter and verse, but I think it's 2 Corinthians, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, and maybe that's the thing, we heard it say humility before honor, but let's be the best that we can. And as we are, subscribing to the notion, pray without ceasing, let's do our part. Let's see how we can be a better example, be the best that we, can be. All right?
Right.
All right. Anything else before we take the next call? You good? All right, my friend.
Okay.
All the best to you, man. Take care, okay? All right. And let me take this other caller. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very thankful. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Just pretty good today? Okay. Let's make that better. All right.
I'm more than thankful.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up after my birthday.
No.
Yeah, I wake up after my birthday.
Yeah.
I say no more. Leave it alone. I wake up after my birthday.
There you go. Well,
Mm-hmm. I asked Susan if she could try to explain that to you. But anyhow, Sterling, my darling friend, radio host, I give you all kudos and I give you all accolades and the service on our island business station. Really appreciate you guys and hoping that we'll get more days, more nights.
Thank you. We have a great team already, come on.
More staff and less commercials and so forth. And some young Caymanians sit behind that bench there like you.
Well,
I don't know if anybody's out there trying to learn how to do the radio business,
right.
But they need to get out there. I'm quite sure it's not that hard.
Well, I say if I can do it, anybody can. And thank you for that. And perhaps in those two things, as you are invited to share more, we want to thank not just our fantastic sales ex, for the diligence, but for our advertisers for recognizing that we offer the widest reach. Right? We have the largest audience. This isn't self-promotion. It's just an acknowledgement of what exists, right? But to your last point, more Caymanians look more closely at the media whether it's on air, as I do, or Susan and the others, or whether it's behind the scenes producing. So we try to extend that invitation. We try to provide every opportunity to our students. So if you know people and they're interested in the media, very, very crucial. So thank you for that.
So are you all trying to push it, or are you just hoping that someone will want to come and be part of it and go do our courses at CUCCI or ICCI, or do they have to go overseas? I don't know, but we'll leave that right there because I don't want to burn up my time on that.
No. But for what it's worth, I don't want you to either. But we at Radio Cayman, seemingly since inception, have always encouraged people. We've had students come through on a regular basis, whether as part of the SciFec program or otherwise. From time to time, on a personal level, we reached out to individuals and bring them in to get a feel for it.
You know what biggest problem is?
Mm-hmm.
We're too bashful.
I was going to say to you, we are.
And if the population is growing, why are we still bashful? We need to just bring out man and say something. I can get out and do this too.
Well, this is not a job that I ever thought that I would do. This is not something that.
I want to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Woody DaCosta went on Marin station.
Mm-hmm.
I felt sorry for Woody the day that he opened that station. I mean, he was on air to talk to us and try to do his job as a radio host.
Mm-hmm.
And he has come along. He went on there, I know, nervous, finding for words, concerned how he was going to come over air for us to hear him, and so forth and so forth. And he became a pro.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much of studying he did for it, but the day they ran to put him in that seat, I know what the probably said, and I love what it did. I know what the probably said to himself. I can't believe that I am in the seat. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm how I sound out there in the open world and so forth, so forth. Well, it came out beautifully.
He did,
I
yes.
just saw him a couple of months ago, and I said, what are you waiting on to get back on air? What are you waiting on,
And maybe he's waiting for me to become governor. He can get this job. I'm just kidding.
You know what?
I should be. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I deflect with laughter. Yes, ma'am.
You know where our Caymans can go when they're ready.
Yes, ma'am.
But let me tell you something. I never dreamed that I would be driving a taxi. I know I had nobody in my family that I can call a taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand my no good father was a taxi driver. My supposed no good father was a taxi driver. And here I come up with a bastard child to be a taxi driver. That is serious. That is true.
Yes, ma'am.
But anyhow, I didn't call you for that. I know my time is almost finished.
You talk.
I was crossing Spot Stock. Maybe bring the cruise ships in when we have bad weather downtown. That spot.
Right.
And when I crossed there yesterday, I swear that I saw some dryers or washing machines down by the garbage bin, and there's one or two persons was standing by it, and I was tempted to turn around, but the traffic was kind of getting busy,
Mm-hmm.
And I just crossed there less than 30 minutes ago. Sterling, do you know there's really a washer down there by that garbage dump?
Wow.
Someone went in there and put in, it was two. Now it's one left. I don't know how that can be a part of the government Port Authority, and they don't have those gates locked off 24/7 when there's no cruise ships in, because they won't do no work on the port to make it comfortable for the visitors when they got to use it up there. And believe me, when the season comes, we will have a little cold front, and we will have to drop the spots, and they're not doing nothing up there. But starting to see that someone removed a washer, if all two is washers and one was a washer and dryer, from somewhere, and going to go onto that property and dump that off, that is a slap in the face for this island. If someone paid them to move them to the dump, they got paid, and they decide to throw it on the side of the road and have no remorse to say, well, hey, the government will pick it up. I don't care. I got my money for it. Because in Sterling, you want a favor done today, you better have your $10 and up to pay individuals. Nobody working for free.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody working for free. But to see that there's a washer sitting on the up here at the spot stop is unbelievable by the garbage bin. Where is the cameras? Why we have cameras and they're not enough to prosecute an individual?
But as I listen to you, I mean, you're obviously correct in talking about enforcement, but there's also a bigger picture. If people, whether being paid to take something away and that's where they dump it, or people on their own, taking it out of their homes and then dumping it somewhere. That speaks to, what we are, what we're becoming, and what we have.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were sharing that, I haven't been driving a whole lot recently, but along many of the public roads and the side roads and the like, as we go into subdivisions and just driving around looking at all the construction, we're seeing mattresses and different things just tossed along the roadways.
Water heaters and
Yeah.
and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's...
And then we have a bulk cleanup once a year. That bulk cleanup need to be stopped and charge every individual to keep their own yard and property clean. Government they're not doing nobody no favor by going around help them clean their yard. What is that? A politic situation?
Yeah. Now, we have the news. We're going to go there in a second, but I don't want you to feel like we're, not giving you sufficient time. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yes, Sterling. So you see, it has been putting down like poles throughout the whole island. Now, I was there for the last 4 to 5 years, including my yard. And they're bringing in these longer poles, but not taking down the old poles that they've been using. Our streets are full of poles, and all you can hear waiting on cable and wireless flow to remove their wires off of the poles, to come on, I guess, to the new poles, which is a longer pole. But if you drive down the road, Sterling, the road looks terrible with all these old poles. And I got to let you go. I just want someone to call in and ask the question too. How are we going to manage the electricity and the water on this island they say we got roughly 100,000 or probably more, I don't know. How are we going to manage that? And if we're going to go to accumulate 250,000 in the future, I want to know where the electricity coming from and the water coming from and everything else is coming from. I hope somebody call in and can talk to you about it.
Okay.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you too. Enjoy the cake.
Bye, darling.
All right.
Yes, bye. Bye.
All right, let's pause and take that headlines at 2. When we return, please call and share with us.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has received reports of patients experiencing difficulties contacting the Center for Women, Family and Children Health at Caribbean Plaza. If you need to access your medical records from this facility, email appointments at forhealth.ky directly. Patients unable to access records or reach the facility, the Ministry offers an online form and contact information for assistance. Priority patients include those under investigations for diseases, awaiting test results, receiving treatment, and pregnant women scheduled with antenatal care. Patients are encouraged to seek continuity of care from other licensed providers. In regional news, the United States law enforcement officials have apprehended a 26-year-old Haitian national accused of aggravated rape of a child at a migrant shelter in Rockland, Massachusetts. The suspect, Corey Bernard Alvarez, was arrested near his residence in Brockton, Massachusetts on Tuesday. Todd M. Lyons, Director of Enforcement and Removal Operations, ERO Boston Field Office, stated that Alvarez will face court proceedings, emphasizing ERO Boston's commitment to public safety and preventing non-citizen threats to children in the community. The High Courts in Grenada has ruled that the Grenada government must pay substantial compensation to a former contracted public officer who was dismissed in October 2022, just 3 months after the National Democratic Congress assumed office. The court found that no reasonable cause for the claimant's removal had been demonstrated by the defendants, contravening Section 88, subsection 2 of the Constitution. The unilateral termination of the claimant's contract was deemed null, void, and of no effect. The defendants are now obligated to provide vindicatory damages and to address any distress or inconvenience caused. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
So much for joining us as we invite you to be a part of the discussion. It is open line. The phone lines are there if you want to call and share. 8949-8037, 949-6990. Or you can WhatsApp a message, a voice note, or you can WhatsApp call 925-32621. And certainly, please use the Flow toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. 1-800-534-8255. Here's a WhatsApp. Let's see. You know what? Let's see what's being said. So this is just a thought. Remember back in our days, our parents used to burn their shrubbery. If we could do the same at home today without being fined, or without it being thrown in the mountain up there in the back of Commander Bay, which we don't know what's going to happen to our garbage, government needs to put bins for different items in each household, but not the hotels or condos like I see they're doing in South Carolina that I visited, some years ago. They could advertise for people to come and get them, if in need, and that was in relation to people disposing of, household items like old appliances. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you today?
Been a while. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thanks. It's been a while. That's why I should begin with apologizing to all the people in Cayman who would have gotten in touch with me on WhatsApp on my Cayman number.
Uh-huh.
I have not responded to any messages since it's not working. My WhatsApp on my Cayman number is not working. So let me just use your forum very briefly to just apologize to the people. As soon as I have that fixed, probably by reinstalling it or updating it, I should be able to respond to some messages. So that's the first thing.
Well, I look forward to hearing from you.
Well, yeah, I like to remain connected with Cayman. You see, it's part of me. Now, Wayne, there are always issues in Cayman regarding the rule of law. Nobody wants to criticize Cayman as being a lawless place because it's not. It's a very well-organized place, but there are still some challenges. I wanted to address today this issue about Doctors Express. You remember Doctors Express? We can talk about this case, by the way, because there was a judicial review which took place.
It's in the public domain now, yes.
It's in the public domain now, and so now it's being discussed. There's a second phase of it, so we can talk about it. Now, I read with some dismay in the paper that the people who were found to have acted in a manner which was unlawful, they were found by a judge. They were not found by the court of public opinion. A judge in the course of the case says, look, Doctors Express had a trade and business license to import cannabis products for medical purposes. They had an import license. Everything was lawful. But with full knowledge that everything was lawful, certain members, we won't mention the names, I think they are well known, but certain officials within government decided to say, okay, let's get a search warrant. They got a search warrant from Justice of the Peace, and they went over to this place, the place of business, and seized the place. I mean, they damaged that company's business, the Caymanian business for that matter. They damaged it, and yet when they tried to say, well, these people must be prosecuted, And they didn't say that these people must be prosecuted because we think so necessarily, or rather, they acted on the basis of what Justice Robin Macmillan had said. To say clearly here there was something unlawful, and he used very, very rare strong words. I have been, in my professional capacity when I was in practice in Cayman, I appeared once before Justice Macmillan. Very well-balanced person. He's very much a person who doesn't overstate things. But in this case, he came out very strongly. And so it was really disappointing to hear that, well, there was some other KC who gave an opinion to say, well, look, these people must not be prosecuted because for some reason that it might not stick. I don't know how it might not stick, because there was no doubt that they acted unlawfully. They even admitted in the emails. One of them admitted, he says, yes, this is a good excuse for us to prevent some of these people who are involved in cannabis, because in our view we think it's dangerous. But how can it be dangerous if it was lawful? Now the reason I start off with that is because it's a current thing that is taking place. But also it is egregious. If you can't prosecute people in government for something that was demonstrably shown in a court of law, that these people acted unlawfully and they acted intentionally, then who are you going to prosecute in government? Because there are all these offenses about, willful neglect of duty, willful disobedience to law, breach of trust, all of those. Who are you going to prosecute if you are not going to prosecute people like this? But meanwhile, who have you prosecuted? You prosecuted somebody for getting mal from a certain place to take to the father's farm. You prosecuted the person. You prosecuted another person in the portfolio of legal affairs because they held on to a file a little longer, destroyed the career of a young woman, and you are prosecuting those kinds of people. By the way, they also prosecuted people like Blake, Watson, and Webb. I'm not even saying that they shouldn't have prosecuted them, but where are these legal opinions when you need them for Caymanians who are being prosecuted? Why don't you get some cases there to say you can't prosecute this? But whenever it is really like a Caymanian involved, this seems to be no problem. And let me say something also about in connection with the same. The Honorable Makiva Bush has asked for an inquiry into how he was prosecuted. But I really think that inquiry should be a broader inquiry. I think he is right in asking for that, because if you look at the cases he was prosecuted, I won't get into the facts of them, it's really unfortunate. The first one, apparently, the little things that took place, the people who were supposed complainants were not keen on pushing them, but somebody was pushing them. And it was so bad that, again, it broke in a court of law that there were some people who were really just out to get him. And as a result, it was dismissed. I would say prematurely, in the sense that it was seen from the very beginning that there was no case there. Okay, and then even then it went on to the next one. The next one is a little bit complicated, but even that, there were some evidentiary issues. You could have maybe said, look, we don't know what happened here, but in terms of proving it in court, we doubt whether we can, because there were clear some problems evidentially. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying it was evidentiary. So how come some of these people are being prosecuted? Others are not. You remember, Dwayne, way back, there was a lady who stole about $100,000 from a company, I won't mention the name, in Cayman. And I think she went off to the UK or something, and her husband was still in Cayman and so forth. And they said, well, so long as she can pay, the husband can pay back the money, she won't be prosecuted. Why is it that she was given that concession? So, to me, these are the problems that currently exist. But let me close on my own matter, which is now going on through the courts. I've brought a judicial review matter against the Chief Justice in her capacity as the complaints authority for disciplining judges. She has immunity if she is acting in a judicial capacity, but if she is acting as a complaints authority, she's like any other administrative tribunal. So I brought a judicial review against her and the Judicial and Legal Service Commission. And I have it from an official source in the judiciary. I was informed officially that your case, when you complained against a certain judge, no names, when you complained against a certain judge, we got an external opinion from the KC again, and he said that your case should be heard publicly because of the strength of the evidence you have provided. But in this particular case, they never followed the advice of the KC. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
The other case, they followed the advice of the KC. In my case, they never followed the advice of the KC. And then in closing, in this same judicial review, I spoke a little bit about it with OC this morning and with Dr. Steve. When you apply for judicial review, the procedure is that you first apply for what is called leave. All that it means is that you apply first for permission to bring judicial review. That application is called an ex parte application. You know it, meaning that you just go to a judge and ask for him to allow you to bring the judicial review. And if the judge thinks that you've got an arguable case, it might not be that strong, but at least it is not frivolous.
Mm-hmm.
The judge will give you leave. In fact, the judges say it should be very rare that leave is refused.
Mm-hmm.
So after leave is given, then the judge will order you to serve the document to the Attorney General, and then you take it from there. In my case, you know what they've done? They have not done that. The Attorney General has demanded that he should come in and he should actually argue it even before I get leave, which has never happened before. In fact, there is a case in the Cayman Islands decided by the Court of Appeal. It's called the Smith case. In that case, the Court of Appeal made it very clear the Attorney General should never be involved. But the Attorney General has ignored that. He is now demanding that he should be involved. And that case, by the way, it is supported by other cases from Trinidad and Tobago Court of Appeal, who also say, no, the Attorney General should never be involved. So why am I putting all this together this way? It is because it creates a tapestry of lack of the rule of law, even from the side of the Attorney General. So this matter now will be coming up on the 25th of September. The judge is trying to make it private in chambers. I have filed a preliminary objection to say, first of all, AG should not be involved, and secondly, it should be in public. So we are waiting for that to be done. I really urge people to try and follow this case, because it will affect you. If one day you want to bring a judicial review or you want to complain against a judge, it will give you an insight into whether or not these rules that are created to say that you can complain against judges, whether in fact they do work. In my case, my complaint, I have documentary evidence which has showed improper conduct on a number of named judges. But up to now, the Attorney General keeps saying that my case is frivolous and vexatious. They even had stopped me for 2 years from bringing a case. But people should watch that, because your rights are being taken away slowly in Cayman, and some people are not noticing. Let me just mention this. If you sue a guy, Dwayne, if you sue a guy, your neighbor, for damaging your bike, and you claim $19 and you issue a writ, that writ is public straight away.
Right.
They put it on the website. But if I go to government and I say that I need leave to get to judicial review, they have now ruled that actually that is not public until the judge says that you are given leave, which there is no other place where it has been like that. Even in Cayman, it was always different until 2019. A judge now said that that part of the proceeding has to be secret. Let's end with a saying. There's a saying that normally, when you are given freedom, you are given on one condition. It is given on the condition of eternal vigilance. Because usually things are not taken away from you in one fell swoop. They are taken away usually incrementally. And I think that is the thought for the day.
Right. If you and thank you too for keeping it. Some would probably understand the importance of the wider picture. If I may then ask you a couple of things. That last thing, as you referenced in change in 2019, is that an internal administrative change, sort of policy, or is that now in legislation? How did that come about? Do you know?
Very, very, very good question. First, background to that. From the time that courts were operating in Cayman, even up to the time when matters for the Grand Court, like had to go to Jamaica. When you applied for judicial review, that was always public until 2019. Now, how did it come about in 2019? In 2019, there were two cases. There was one case. It was before Mr. Justice Kawali. The cases are reported on the website. It was before Mr. Justice Kawali. What happened was that in one case, one side claimed that, well, look, the person who applied for judicial review has made so many allegations and now has decided to withdraw that application for judicial review. So it means we will not have a chance to respond to it. So on that basis, the court said, okay, it won't be made public. But the problem is that the judge then say it has been interpreted as establishing a general rule that it should never be public in any case. Okay? So this was done through a court case. Actually, that is one which I've described. Another one, they claimed that they didn't want the matter to be public because there was some commercially sensitive information. Okay? So again, the same judge said, okay, we won't make it public. But in my argument, first of all, the way the judiciary has interpreted that is wrong, because the judge was really making narrow issues in those two circumstances. But they have decided conveniently to now apply it generally, to say that when you apply for judicial review, it's not going to be public. So in answer to your question, it arose not from an amendment of the rules, but more like a new interpretation of the rules that have already existed. But that's another bit which I'm fighting in Cayman. I want to make sure that if I can succeed, that all judicial review should be public again. I've got some constitutional arguments regarding that. Very complex, I can't get into it. Radio. I've already filed at 20. My judicial review papers are almost 100 pages, but my arguments relating to these matters I'm discussing are about 28 pages long, and we're trying to see how we can move the case forward. I think it will be very, very significant because I would like to see if some judges, including Court of Appeal judges, are held accountable. For example, I don't see why the Privy Council was given a holiday which was worth almost $250,000 by the Cayman government. To me, it was because they were intended to be influenced. What chance, for example, does Katina Anglin have in her case, which is going to the Privy Council? The same judges who were enjoying a free holiday here, together with the governor and all those people, she is now effectively going to the Privy Council to say that the governor acted improperly. Don't you see that there's a conflict there? There is a conflict there. In fact, in my proceedings, I have cited provisions of the Code of Conduct of the UK Supreme Court, where I show that the visit of the Privy Council violated those ethics, and that's why the government didn't want to make it public. But stay tuned; it will be a major case. I hope that will help other people as well in future in terms of reform and how people can hold people accountable.
Well, thank you, and as you share with us, obviously can engage more and learn more. But as you remind us, you may not be a part of a particular proceeding, but that thing could affect you or someone even closer to you down the road. So thanks for keeping us informed, all right?
Thank you, indeed. Thank you.
I'll talk to you very soon. And with that, I believe we have the final break. And when we come back, we invite you to join us. So stay tuned.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from the inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as we go straight to the phones, hey, thank you for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sterling. This is Jamo. How you doing?
Jamo, James Jamo Miles, man. What's happening?
All right, man. We're on our way to Georgetown, looking to sell tickets to the people. We're bringing back Big House. I'm part of a leadership camp at Island House in Savannah, and the young people are putting together an event for Friday the 27th of September, where we bring back Big House. It's where all the youth groups on Friday night gather, and we're doing it to celebrate Caribbean Youth Day. Our headline is Michelle T. The tickets are $25 for adults 18 and over. All of the young people that go to the Friday night youth groups are welcome to come with their groups. The emails will be going out to the youth leaders, so as soon as they start gathering in September, they can come and join us, and we worship the Lord at Seasides in Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
We're on our way to town. We were hoping to get on earlier, but you had other callers, and I'm thankful that we can get this few minutes to talk about it, because next week we could be having Caboose Camp, but some of the campers from Leadership Camp will also be coming to Caboose Camp, and we were hoping to see if we could book a spot with you on next Tuesday. Your last segment probably between 2 to 2:30, because we could be delivering meals to town at 1:30, and then we can start through and talk about the return of Big House. It's $25 per person for adults 18 and over. It comes with food and a drink for the evening. We're about to go into government admin and any other office that try to sell some of the tickets.
Yeah. Well, I as you know, you reach out to me, in any capacity. We always try to accommodate the great work that you and your team continue to do. Tuesdays we do have the HSA. I'll look at it and may not, but if we can, we will do our best to accommodate your request, right?
All right. Yeah, it's not Wednesday or Thursday would work well.
We'll do what we can as we can, man. It's all about bringing the community together, strengthening our youth, and giving them, a sense of purpose, but helping them to be reminded that they're supported as well.
No problem.
And nobody caboose. Yeah.
For taking my call.
Always.
Thank you very much for always being supportive.
Well, thank you, and others like you who are recognizing the importance to, invest into our young people. So thanks very much. And for that Caboose camp, I gather that you'll have food available, right, for sale?
Yes, for sale. It's $15 for each meal. It includes swanky.
Mm-hmm.
Not the kitchen band, but and we do deliveries to town. On Monday, we are actually doing coconut dinner. So that will be a dinner sale, which is from 3 until 5:30. And we'll be doing deliveries to town at 3:30 for people, so they can have coconut dinner for dinner at home that evening. And then on every other day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it'll be lunch meals delivered to town at 1:30, and you can actually pick them up if you want as well at Buddy's Way in Savannah.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, food is something that we always...
As well, thank my sponsor, which is the Ministry of Tourism and Ports. Minister Kenneth Bryan and his team has sponsored fully our caboose camps, where we can pass on our traditions. Young people cooking on wood fires and blessing the community with Caymanian cuisine.
And I know you've been an ardent supporter and keen champion for the National Culinary Youth Program for the last dozen years or so, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Jambo, always a pleasure.
All the various supporters as well.
Yeah. Let us know. Let's see how we can make what you're trying to do, continue partnership with more of us, all right?
All right, man. Thank you very much for your time, and everybody have a good evening.
All right. Thanks again, Al. And the Youth Services Unit, Jambo, and the team do great work. We recognize how important it is to ensure that our young people feel and know, are reminded, and they can step up because they have the support. Well, this Thursday come tomorrow, God's willing, we'll be a part of it. A lot is unfolding globally, much within our local space and even in our individual lives. The question sometimes is often unanswered because it's very rarely asked is, what can I do? What can I, the individual, do to make things better? And almost in the same breath, am I willing to do it? That positive, deliberate, conscious effort on our part is what is needed, and sorely sometimes is what is lacking. So let's see how we can do it. Oftentimes it's about correcting our actions or the behaviors of others. Sometimes it's a sobering reminder that we are as much a part of the problem, not just by our action, but by our inaction. My daughter reminds me sometimes that a lie isn't just commission, it's omission. So it's not, as the country song says, it's not what I did, it's what I didn't do. So what are we doing? As much as we are divided sometimes by what we see, by the colors that we wear, by the way we segregate ourselves along politics and economics and ethnicity. Maybe to Mr. Brown's earlier call, we need to look at coming together. Let us not be divided by skin color or other things. We are more alike than we are different, yet it is easy to castigate. So in comparing ourselves, maybe we compare, not on, how much money we have or how loud, we can sort of, proclaim our own, actions, but how we are cheering and championing the others. A rising tide, they say, floats all ships. So let's be that tide. Have a wonderful afternoon. God's willing, we'll be a part of it. We'll make today matter. Be as positive and productive. Be in your pensiveness, purposeful. Until tomorrow, my friends, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949